What makes an ideal lead magnet? How can we make it irresistible to the right people? And how can we make sure that the lead magnet that we work so hard to create, to try and get out into the world, how can we make sure that it doesn't repel our ideal prospects? My name is Pat Scrow. Now, when you get your lead magnet right, then you're in a situation where all you really need to do is just focus on being yourself and having some kind of traffic source. Essentially, you get your lead magnet right, and then you spend your time being a leader in the world, attracting traffic, attracting your ideal prospects. So, what kind of lead magnet do you need? Today, I have 3 slides to cover, and before we're done, I'll show you how to create the right lead magnet for where your business is at right now. Not only that, but I'll tell you the single most important feature of a killer lead magnet. Lead magnets suck. That's right. Before you think this is some kind of clickbait, I genuinely think that lead magnets suck for the industry that I'm in, but you're probably in as well. So why are we starting here? There's a bunch of reasons why lead magnets suck, and we need to address them because otherwise you're going to end up having something that doesn't work. Most advice for creating a lead magnet is horrible. For example, make a small version of your big offering, or make a doing lead magnet. Break off something that you sell and give it to them so they can get a result. Or make it high value, misinterpret it as in-depth. We don't really want to give people in-depth stuff. That doesn't make any sense to them. See, what happens when you give somebody a small version of your big offering, they now have to do the thing to try and get the result that ideally you would guide them to get anyway, and they end up getting a bad version of that result, and then they associate you with that failure. That's not good at all. Any kind of doing lead magnet that you've given them, they now have to do something. So you've pushed them away from needing to reach out to you because they go, well, I've got this thing that can help solve my problem. I scanned through it. It looks like it's going to take me about a week or 2 to get stuck into this. And then they're not going to reach out to you. So it didn't do the job. And if it's a doing lead magnet, these type of lead magnets require, by definition, follow-up. So you're going to be in a situation where you now have to do email follow-up. If you're not an email marketer, if you don't have a history in marketing, then now as a coach or as a consultant, you then have to become an email marketer in a short space of time with a relatively good success rate to be able to convert those leads into phone calls and ultimately into clients. It's not going to happen. But there's a big bad main reason why I think lead magnets suck. It's because lead magnets almost never cause a prospect to reach out on their own. That doesn't happen. Well, hang on, Pat. Isn't this video about lead magnets? Perhaps a better question would be that if lead magnets suck, what do we do instead? How do we get strangers to want to get involved in your offer? So to explain that, we need to understand that your offer is on a spectrum. So at one end of the scale, we can see a stranger. They don't know you. They've got no idea who you are. They don't even know you exist. Then one day, you exist in their world. The spectrum goes from one side being a complete stranger through to an audience member, eventually becoming a hot lead, and then becoming a paid client or someone enrolled in your program. Now, every interaction, think of it as like a magnet attracting it to the next stage. So an interaction that you give a stranger would ideally draw them into your audience, magnetize, move them through the process. So if we think of it like this, if you're smart, you'll create a lead magnet that doesn't require people to do much at all. Because all that's required is that they get attracted to the next stage. They don't have to stay in one particular stage for very long at all. The more they have to do at each stage, requiring work, requires time, requires guidance, the longer they'll take to progress through those stages. And how do you get people to progress through those stages? Well, this comes in the form of simple promises or offers. So the key, number one key, this needs to be something that they want. There's no point in giving somebody a freebie, a giveaway, an incentive of some kind that you think they need, but they don't want it. Then you have to try and sell them on that. It doesn't make any sense. It takes too much time. So number one, the thing that you're presenting them, they need to be able to want to reach out and grab it, just like that, without really thinking about it. I call this type of thing a unique lead mechanism. It's a lead magnet, but it's unique to your business and your avatar and your perfect client. And the mechanism, they want to reach out and grab it. And when they do that, it sets off a couple of things that turns that interaction into a back and forward. There's no sense that someone's being trapped into a sales funnel. There's no need for a drastic follow-up. It's very freeing for both the person who wants the lead magnet and for the person who's giving it to them. I have a full video on ULMs, unique lead mechanisms, and I'll link to that at the end of this video. Okay, just quickly, do you get the weekly newsletter? If you're not getting it yet, pause this video. The link is below. It takes 3 seconds. And from this Saturday, you'll get useful marketing insights to grow a business that you'll actually love. No relentless hustle culture, no cold outreach, no doing anything that doesn't align with who you are. It's my free newsletter. It's called Coach Marketing Sucks. I'm super proud of it. Get it with the link below. Okay, back to the video. Engineering irresistibility. Right, so this is the part where we're going to reverse engineer how to make your unique lead mechanism, or if you don't want to make one of them, how to make your lead magnet irresistible. What makes something irresistible to your ideal prospect? First thing I want to talk about is verbiage discovery. And this could be actually a shortcut for almost any kind of research that you need to do. Because once you hear in people's own words what they think, what they want, what they desire, what they think is crap, once you hear it and you start using those exact words, it becomes very easy to sort of see through the fog of war, so to speak, of what they actually want. And you can do this a couple of ways. You're going to put your research cap on, go to Google, just type in the search bar a couple of the words that you think people want in your industry. Do the same thing in YouTube. You have to play around, but it's not that difficult. Pretty quickly, you start seeing things that your prospect is searching for. Okay, write down these things exactly in the words they're using. If they put them in the wrong order, you put them in the wrong order too. Don't correct people's language. They're using that for a reason. So verbiage discovery is really important. Another way you can do this too is you can go into Reddit, you can go into Quora, you can go into any of these places that have posts or questions asked by people, your exact avatar. Another thing you can do if you're posting on social media, or if you've got a YouTube channel, if you've got any way of seeing your posts or other people's posts, what's getting lots of traction, what topics are really up high. And just make notes of these things, stick them on a whiteboard, literally. Phrases, words, verbiage, that's what you're looking for. Number 2, you're going to have to choose an active or a passive lead magnet. Now, what is an active or a passive lead magnet? Passive lead magnets will get higher downloads. These are the kinds of things that you see people with large audiences offering. The person offering it doesn't have to do anything. It just sits there as a link, okay? But the people getting it have lower purchase intent. So, therefore, they require follow-up, either with constant content or with email. You're going to have to do that. That's with a passive lead magnet. If you're not an expert in email marketing, I highly suggest that you don't make one of these. Again, I call them passive because you don't have to do anything. They just click and download it. So who are these good for? These are good for e-commerce, authors, anything low ticket with high volume list sizes. You want to be skilled in email marketing. So who are these not good for? They're not good for coaches, not good for consultants, not good for people who are creators of courses and info products. And the one main reason is because what you'll probably end up doing is you'll end up making a doing lead magnet. That's what you'll end up doing. You'll create this thing and it will get the person to do something. And they'll either never use it, or if they do use it, it'll scratch that itch that they've got. They'll get a fix and they won't need your help. Or if they do need your help, by the time they get around to actually doing it, forgotten that you even exist. It's just a thing they've got. So active lead magnets, let's talk about them. These are best for coaches, consultants, people with courses, etc., because they work to get calls booked. These are much more targeted for people with specific problems. And because of this, you're going to get fewer downloads. But the upside is they've got much higher purchase intent. So what is an active lead magnet? An active lead magnet is anything that delivers a tailored response. It could be a quiz, it could be a report, it could be a summary, it could be a calculator. Now, I told you I'll give you the single most important thing that you need to do with your lead magnet. And here it is. It's the name, whatever you call this thing. If you have an incredible lead magnet that guarantees success, even if your lead magnet does that, if it doesn't have a good name, no one will want it. No one will download it. And you'll put all this energy into something that doesn't go anywhere. So no matter what's on the inside, if the name sucks, no one will want it. The lead magnet has to have an awesome name. It has to make people go, shit, I want that. I need to reach out and click that thing right now. What do they want in return? They want information from me. I'm prepared to give that information because I want that lead magnet. That's how good the name has to be. So look, I've spent so much time making lead magnets over the years. I would love to have come across some information back then that was genuine about how to actually do this. That's why I'm sharing it here. Some of you might want my lead magnet. Sure, you'll ferret around in the description and you'll find it. Don't need to give it to you. Same thing will happen with you, with your lead magnet when you create a good one. People will find it, they'll get involved in your world, they'll come to their own conclusions, and they'll realize they don't need your help, or they'll realize, I like what this person's talking about. I think I'd like to talk to them more. And that's what really a good lead magnet should do for people in our industry. We don't really have massive audiences. By the time you have a massive audience as a coach or a consultant, or if you've got a course, by the time you have a massive audience, you don't even really need a lead magnet anymore. So the time to get this right is at the very, very beginning. You want every single person who enters your world and reaches out to take your lead magnet, you want them to be able to become a client without any further follow-up, without any need to nurture them via email. Because what if you suck at email marketing? Then that person misses out on getting an opportunity to change their life. Makes you think, right? All right, so I've told you lead magnets suck, and instead I've talked about a unique lead mechanism. Well, this video goes into glorious detail about how it all works, how to make one for yourself. I'll see you in the next video.